Sure. He's like, let's get on. No, I think actually, good. Maybe Thanksgiving, actually. Said, we don't want to live in that. So we like that. And they also make sure you can come. And then it's like, okay, I'll take that 3 bags. Is it just them? Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of place that. No. But yeah.
Third 2025 meeting of the Decatur County Area Planning Commission to order to comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Decatur County requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. That being said, our first action will be our minutes from our August 6th, 2025 meeting. Everybody good with them?
Motion, we approve them as they were sent to us.
Second.
First and second to approve the minutes as mailed. Any discussion? Hearing any, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, on the agenda, the first petition is APC petition 2025-9, John Marsali is requesting rezone approximately 100 foot by 100 foot from an A1 zoning classification to an A2 zoning classification to build a wireless communication tower. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 920-3. The property is owned by Richard, Charles, and Kimberly May Redelman. It's located just west of 247 East County Road, 500 South Greensburg in Marion Township. Mr. It was all yours.
My name is John Marcelletti. I'm with Verizon Wireless, and we are looking at putting in a new cell tower on Richard Rudderman's property on East County Road 500 South. Verizon has determined within the area of a significant service gap caused by insufficient infrastructure. Co-location of existing towers is our first option, but the nearest tower, I believe, is up to 5 miles away. The new facility must be located to correct the service gap. To do so, Verizon has selected APC towers. They are looking to construct the tower at 295 feet. Verizon's antenna center line will be at 290 feet. The height was approved by the FAA. The roof lighting at the top of the tower, as all towers over 200 feet require lighting. Towers being designed to accommodate multiple additional wireless carriers in hopes to promote future co-locations. Verizon can drastically improve the service of this tower if approved. The proposed facility is in compliance with all federal, state, and local requirements. We were here back in April at a different location. You guys asked us to move to the eastern portion of the property to avoid the nearby residences. This is the latest design and plan, and I can answer any questions if you have.
Questions from the APC?
Yeah, some discrepancies on the nearest residence. So, the last time, I think that the stated distance was 18 yards versus something like that.
Yeah, the engineer made sure he triple checked. I think that property in question, the new distance is 2,187. That wasn't a mistake by him. Unfortunately.
Any questions?
Page 22. Paul.
I think at this point, the nearest residence was 800 feet. Is that?
Well, that's just the conservation goal.
And we map the nearest one would be Mr. Roden's.
Yeah.
1,200 feet. Any other questions from the board? Not hearing any, I'll look for adjoining property owners, questions, comments.
What is the timeline?
For completion, obviously, we have to get through today. If everything's approved today, we would then go through our permitting process. The goal for APC Towers is to begin construction before the winter begins. So hopefully later this fall. Construction period is typically lasts 30, 45 days.
Is that a freestanding or is that key?
It is a guy tower. Tough to see on the picture. You can see the initial square in the center of the circle that
Yeah.
shows lines coming off in 3 different directions. Those are the guide wire easements.
David, you need names there.
If you're going to comment, please state your name so it can be put in the minutes. So
James Russell.
Michelle Russell.
anything else from the public? Questions or comments from the APC one last time? And motion.
Make a motion, we vote on 2025-9.
I second.
First and second, for vote on 2025-9.
The vote for
Petition 2025-9, Tom Cherry, yes. Paul Stone, yes. Brad Sheedy, yes. Bob Mauer, yes. Sheila Kirkhoff, yes. Mike Hunter, yes.
Congratulations, your petition passes. Stay in contact with the office, and I think you got another meeting after this.
Thank you for the work on relocating that.
Oh, yeah.
BZA neighbors.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, moving on, APC petition 2025-20, Sam Custer is requesting to subdivide approximately 5 acres out of 121.86 acres and rezone approximately 2.99 acres from an A1 zoning classification to an A2 zoning classification to build a single-family detached dwelling. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 915 and 920-7. Property is owned by 5K Properties and is located at 1350 West County Road 500 South, Greensburg, Indiana, Marion Township. Custer, podium's all yours.
My name is Sam Custer, and I'm here to, as you said, it's to rezone and subdivide the property to build a single family dwelling.
Got your septic feasibility taken care of and the driveway taken care of.
Main reason we're subdividing is to not have to deal with an easement back to the 2.99. County Road 500 South and Southwest 60, and the property lies in that corner.
Questions or comments from APC board members? Anybody is an adjoining property owner or a landowner would like to comment? One last call. Was I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to vote on 2025-20.
First and second, to vote on 2025-20.
Vote for 2025-20, our Solis, Sheila Kirkhoff, yes. Tom Hunter, yes. Cherry, yes. Brad Sheedy, yes. Bob Mauer, yes. Paul Stone, yes.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Take care of, it. Stay in touch with the office through the building process.
Oh, yes.
Moving on. APC petition 2025-1, Jonathan Crow's requesting to rezone approximately 2 acres from an A1 zoning classification to a B3 zoning classification for repair shop and auto sales. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 1145. Property is owned by Kathleen Lecker and is located at 3056 North County Road 850 East, Greensburg, in Butte Township. Crow?
Good evening, members of the board. My name is John Crowe. Respectfully request that we rezone the recently purchased property to a B3. The property in question has a long-standing history of supporting small business in this community. This property has been a county landmark for decades. This property is, as you said, located at 3056 North County Road 850 East. We're also known as Lecker's Repair Shop. The building and residence on the site were originally constructed in 1957 and 1958 by a local resident who built them with the intention of establishing a privately owned business. That was then followed on to the next generation. After the owner and operator of the business had passed, the business operated for another 2 years. This location was able to sustain over 60 years of business for our community. This well-known property has now sat empty for over 4 years. Now that my wife and I have purchased the property, we are eager to start our new adventure, opening a new sales and service business that serves the community, focused on vehicles, power sports, and marine. I've always enjoyed the automotive industry from a young age. This passion has led me to 15 great years that I served as service manager at Hewlett Ford in Shelbyville. While doing this, I also found a larger passion, which was to understand and help the community and people. I now want to bring this passion to my hometown. Serve the community that has given so much to myself and family. To do that, we need the rezoning updated to B3 so we can operate legally and in full compliance with our current regulations. We are committed to maintaining the character of the area while also revitalizing the historic property. We believe this change will not only honor the legacy of the original owners, but also bring renewed life and value to the local economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments? From the board?
And as you had stated earlier, the property is now currently owned by me and my wife. The application was submitted when Kathleen Lecter still owned it.
Tell us about some of the revitalization stuff. What, all are your plans there?
So far, I've got the entire shop. The block shop has been scraped and painted. The Morton building that you see with the green roof has had all new metal replaced. It is now white and charcoal. And starting yesterday, that entire triangle that cuts across the top left to the right, and then from the bottom right of the green Morton building down that grass line is all going to be asphalt.
Do you intend to have a lot of non-operable equipment?
I do not. Being honest, on the sales side that's on the lot, it's not a large lot size. I don't want it to be overly crowded. Main thing on the sales side is community knowing that I've got dealer licensing and am able to help out that way. I do believe a lot of it's going to be service related, and that's what we need a lot more.
Gas tanks or gas pumps there anymore? One time there was a gas.
There are not. So the concrete piece, it's kind of right there on that top left corner area. That was or is a concrete piece that had a sign mounted to it. And then there was a large, yep, exactly. And then there was a larger concrete piece that did have a fuel pump on it, as this place used to be a fuel station. The fuel pumps were located on that concrete piece. As they come in today doing grading work, the piece that the pump was on, all that's been removed. The tank was removed and signed off on over 30 years ago.
Any other questions or comments from board members?
Will you be living in the home?
I am not. I am renting that residence out to a technician that's going to be working for me. So we will have somebody there 24/7, keep security on the place as well. Always there to help.
Other questions or comments? I will open up to the public. Any adjoining property owners or anybody from the public has questions, concerns? Like to make a comment? Not hearing any, I will entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to vote on APC petition 2025-21.
I'll second it.
First and second, 25-21.
Petition 2025-1, votes read as follows: Tom Hunter, yes. Sheila Curtis, yes. Paul Stone, yes. Tom Cherry, yes. Brett Shooting, yes. Bob Mauer, yes.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Moving on, APC petition 2025-22, Doug and Teresa Vandenberg is requesting to subdivide approximately 2.910 acres out of 9.10 acres and rezone approximately 2.99 acres from an A1 zoning classification to an A2 zoning classification to build a single-family detached. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 915 and 920-7. The property is owned by the petitioner. It's located at 5937 South County Road, 220 Southwest, Greensburg, in Sand Creek Township. Evening.
Good evening.
Vandenberg.
Teresa Vandenberg. Wanting to rezone and subdivide 2.99 acres. Home,
That's in the X areas where you're
yes,
looking to put the home
yes,
and be using the driveway there.
yes.
Yeah. Septic and driveway. Rural water.
Yes.
Questions or comments from APC board members? Questions?
That a residence that's back there by you as well?
This one?
It's a cabin.
It's a cabin.
It's
Okay.
just a,
So that driveway goes back to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
we own, there's 20 acres there that we own.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? I will open it up to the public. Questions or comments? Not hearing any, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to vote on 2025-22.
A second.
First and second.
votes for 2025-22 are as follows. Sheila Kirkhoff, yes. Tom Hunter, yes. Paul Stone, yes. Tom Matter, yes. Brett Shute, yes. Tom Cherry, yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Petition passes. Stay in contact with the office through the billing process here.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is APC petition 2025-23. Mike Reese Robbins is requesting to subdivide 4.5 acres out of 53.94 acres and rezone approximately 2.99 acres from an A1 zoning classification to an A2 zoning classification to build a single-family detached dwelling. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 915 and 920-7. The property is owned by Roy Harge Robbins and is located behind 665 West County Road 250 South, Greensburg, Indiana, in Washington Township. Mr. Robbins?
Hi there, Mike Robbins. My wife Grace and I are wanting to, like I say, rezone 2.99 acres and like subdivide 4.5 on my parents' farm there. They're building a house. It's located like about it's just south of their old barn on that ridge, overlooks that bottom field.
I assume the blacks, you plan on putting driveways.
That's the plan, yes.
We maintain is the driveway on the other side, does it still use it all, Mike, or?
So that's like the drive we use for the farms. My plan is to do away with that and farm. There's a ditch that runs through there. So I was gonna start farming to the south to that ditch. That way I didn't lose much farm ground. Right, that's my plan. It's a third drive we use for farm equipment. That's about it.
That was the original drive.
I think so, yes, back.
Yeah.
So there will have to be an easement there.
Yep.
My parents, they don't care.
I would definitely get put in there, though, just, reference.
Easement's a good idea.
Well, I have to have an easement. I mean, it doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't hurt to put some language in it about maintenance.
We're down the road.
Questions or comments from APC board members? Anything from the public? Questions or comments? It's like a nice place for a house back there.
Yeah. Let's find some other.
I will entertain a motion.
Move we vote on APC petition 2025-23.
I'll second it.
First and second for APC 2025-23.
The votes for 2025-23 are Sheila Kirkhoff, yes. Tom Hunter, yes. Paul Stone, yes. Tom Matter, yes. Brett Shute, yes. Tom Cherry, yes.
Congratulations, your petition passes. Stay in contact with the office here as you start the billing process.
Thank you, guys.
There you go.
Thank you. Next is APC petition 2025-24. Roger and Julie Cromer is requesting to subdivide approximately 1.5 acres out of 3.99 acres and rezone approximately 1.5 acres from an A1 zoning classification to an A2 zoning classification To build a single-family detached dwelling, this request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 915 and 920-7. The property is owned by the petitioners and is located just south of 923 West Main Street, Westport, in Sand Creek Township. Mr. Cromer, podium is all yours.
Thank you. My name is Roger Fromer and my wife Julie. We're here to request subdividing an acre and a half and rezoning it from A1 to A2. Build a home and a pole barn.
Is there currently a barn there? Is that what's,
No, there's nothing on the property.
you're doing this property here?
No, one with a star. One up above,
Oh,
north side of the highway.
I see the star up there now.
So then, and then to the left, yeah.
Yeah, the house will be to the left of the star and the pole barn will be about where the star is. House will be right there, yeah. In that area. And we're in the process with the surveyor of having it put on in the one parcel. And then we're gonna, if you're wondering how we're gonna access it, we're gonna have an easement. Our daughter lives in the property to the north. We're gonna come off of her driveway and come to our property through there. So we're in the process. Now, from north. If I can do this, up here, through here will be where the driveway comes in. We could have had access through here.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to deal with NDOT in the permitting process.
Yeah.
So it was easier to deal with our daughter. So far.
Questions, comments?
Sure, things are harmonious right now, but as Brad mentioned, it'd probably be some good to put in there should that property ever change hands about how access and maintenance and things like that. Shared drive.
Yeah, good. We run the utilities through the easement. It'll be an ingress, egress, utility easement. Is what, the surveyors, Andy Schulman, yeah, he's the one doing the work for us.
Okay.
And I have that contract, if that makes any difference.
Questions, comments, APC board members? Anything from the public? I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to vote on APC petition 2025-24.
I'll second that.
Votes for 2025-24 are as follows. Tom Hunter, yes. Philip Fairclough, yes. Paul Stone, yes. Todd Mauer, yes. Brett Sheedy, yes. Tom Cherry, yes.
Congratulations. Stay in contact with the office through the building process. Good luck.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least is APC petition 2025-25. Nick and Lauren Beckett is requesting to subdivide approximately 4 acres, 12.4667 acres, and rezone approximately 2.99 acres from an A1 zoning classification to an A2 zoning classification to build a single-family detached dwelling. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance 915 and 920-7. Property is owned by Grody Irrevocable Trust and is located across from 3113 South County Road 220 Southwest, Greensburg in Sand Creek Township. Mr. Beckett, the podium is all yours.
I'm Nick Beckett, and here looking to build a house and a pole barn just across from where we live now, on the family farm.
Ask if you're familiar with the neighborhood.
Oh,
Rough neighbors. Subject to driveways all taken care of.
yeah. From this picture, I talked to Andy Sholey about potentially moving my south property line up to match Dennis and Marge Weber's there.
Here.
Just, yeah, that way it leaves a little bit of road frontage to the actual prop, to the rest of the farm.
Yeah.
Because the stone quarry owns a little triangle there to the south. Yeah, right there. So that way would leave a little gap there if we would need a right of way back. There's another 40-acre field in the back that may need a right of way one of these days. But other than that, the house would probably be north of the star and the shop to the south.
Questions or comments from APC board members? Not hearing any, I will open it up to questions or comments from the public. Not hearing anything, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion regarding on 2025-25.
I'll second.
First and second for 2025-25.
Votes for 2025-25 are as follows: Sheila Kirkhoff, yes. Tom Hunter, yes. Paul Stone, yes. Tom Cherry, yes. Brad Sheedy, yes. Bob Mauer, yes.
Congratulations. Stay in contact with the office here as you go through the building process, and good luck on the new house.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's the last thing I have on my agenda. So unless somebody has anything else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor of adjourning? Opposed? We are adjourned.
approval of the findings and facts from petition 2024-8 at the August 6th meeting. So we've also received those findings and facts. Any other comments or entertain a motion for approval?
I move that we approve the findings of facts as they were mailed to us from the August 6th meeting.
Second.
A motion and a second for approval of the finding of facts. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Finding of facts are approved. Next item on the agenda is the BZA 2025-2. John Marcelletti. We have a chance to do something. For Richard, Charles Relman will represent BZA petition 2025-2, requesting a permanent special exception as provided by the Decatur County zoning ordinance section 925-9, place a wireless communication tower, and a variance as provided by the Decatur County ordinance section 945-4, to the required maximum height of 30 to 295 feet. Wireless communication tower, the property is currently owned by Richard Charles and May Redelman. Is located just west of 247 East County Road 500 South, Greensburg, in Marion Township. We have the floor.
Worked with Verizon Wireless and APC Towers to construct an XL tower there on Richard Redelman's property. We originally came by in April and tried to place it a little bit further west of the property. It was determined that we should move it to the east to avoid a lot of the homes. You're now, as you mentioned, building a 295-foot top of steel with a 4-foot lightning rod equaling 299 feet. Verizon's antennas will be at the 290-foot center line. Site has been approved by the FAA with determination of no hazard. It will be a guide tower with guide anchors hanging off, as shown in the description, shown in the photo above. There will be lighting at the top of the tower, as any tower over 200 feet does require lighting. The tower is also being designed to accommodate multiple additional wireless carriers and promote future co-locations. Nearest tower in the area is probably well over 3 miles. There's dire need of some cell phone service. And if any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
School board. Open up to the public. Any questions or comments from the public? No, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to vote on BZA 2025-2.
Second. Motion second. So we are voting on both the variance and the special exception, correct?
Votes for petition 2025-2 are as follows. Paul Stone, yes. Hank Bruno, yes. Jane Livingston, yes. William, yes.
This should be approved. Stay to the process.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is BZA 2025-3. Matthew John requesting a conditional use to operate a retail store to sell farm fresh food, produce, and other retail items The request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section 932. The property is currently owned by Tim Callahan, is located at 7336 West County Road 300 South, Greensburg and Clay Township. Or up to the podium, tell us what's going on.
Okay, so I'm Matt John, and on my position in my day job is I work at Ivy Tech. I'm the Department of Agriculture and Precision Ag. I live in Columbus. I've just accepted an offer on my home. I'm about 4 miles towards Columbus from Hartsville. So my plan is to purchase the property and basically continue with what they're doing on the retail side. I want to bring in more local product, continue with the ice cream, continue with the deli counter. But bringing more local. I've been there about, Ivy Tech about 17 years. I've got a lot of students, former students that are doing their own thing, whether it's beef or pork or eggs, making some kind of farm product. And I spent some time prior to moving back up here. I grew up in Columbus, but I lived in Kentucky for a while as an extension educator. One of the things that happened a lot when I was in that position, I would have these young families come in and they say, we want to try to make a living on the farm. And there wasn't a way to do that very easily. You know, there's a great farmer's market here. I visited it a few times. That's seasonal. That's, and you know, if you harvest everything and it rains and nobody shows up or there's something else going on, kind of a wasted day. So this is an opportunity to bring those products in and let those folks have a year-round market for the product. The concept is called a farm stop. And there's actually 2 in Bloomington right now. They're both very successful. And there's one that just opened up in Madison about a month ago. And I haven't had a chance to visit that one. I've been to both of them in Bloomington. The idea kind of started in Michigan a few years ago. I was at the one in Michigan at a conference in February. All over the country, people were real excited about this idea of consigning in local food products for people that want to do the kind of farm to table thing. So I actually was involved when I lived in Kentucky in a similar idea that was owned by a municipality in Georgetown, Kentucky. It's the same idea. You would bring your product in. Everything had to be, you know, legal, so you couldn't butcher a cow in your backyard. You know, it had to go through state inspected or federally inspected facility, handled properly, have the proper licensure and all that. If it was a homemade product, had to follow those rules. Everything was brought in, and then essentially people went and shopped, bought their products, and the farmers got a check at the end of the month for their product. That's the main idea. It's really very similar to what's going on now, just a little more local flavor. And my daughter and I are planning to move there, so we'll be living in the house there and in the apartment there. So that's if there's any other kind of questions or anything else I can answer.
You're planning on living on site?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got an accepted offer on my house. So. Yeah, we're good.
I like you Tech in Columbus.
It is. We cover Decatur County as well as Jennings, Jackson, Shelby, and Johnson. In fact, if you have kids or grandkids or anybody you know that does dual credit or college credit, I'm the one that does that for the ag program. So I was at the South Decatur. I'm on their ag advisory board now, so I was at their meeting last night, and I know all those teachers. And actually, I taught a couple classes, college level classes at Greensburg High School in the past with students that did that. So yeah, that's Columbus based, and it's about 10 minutes further for me to go to work, but I like Decatur County. I'm excited to be able to get here. I know I've got a lot of students, former students from here. I've got good friends that have come over and got to know from being in school or other ways. So it's an opportunity for us.
Does the current facility facilitate all your plans? Sounds like you got a good plan put together to grow this. Does that current facility?
It does. Yeah, the footprint does. So I actually was considering doing something similar in Bartholomew County on a piece of property that I had. It was much smaller, and I don't know if you're familiar with Bartholomew County to deal with in a lot of cases with what they expect to have happen than some other places are. So this opportunity came up, and it just is much bigger footprint than I was going to build myself, and it's just been there. It's a beautiful place. It's set up very well, and it's got all the pieces I need. So it would be footprint expansion at all.
What's your anticipated hours of operation?
I think, I'm not sure yet. I know at the beginning, I want to keep the same hours. I think they're closed on Sunday. I would like, what?
Sunday and Monday.
I probably would want to stay closed on Monday because everybody needs a day off. But I would be okay with having like afternoon on Sunday. I think that's a pretty high ice cream day for folks want to go get ice cream after church. So I would like to be open Sundays, maybe from noon to 6 or something like that. But I would want to be closed on Monday.
And what are those current hours?
Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6.
Is there an issue if I expand those, like go earlier or later, or, because at this point, I don't know.
Just trying to find out information.
Yeah. Because it's all, I don't know.
Questions from the board?
Do you anticipate the current parking lot changing? As if you imagine it will continue to serve the business properly? Any expansion or changing?
I don't think there will need to be a change. Nice parking lot, nice size parking lot. You know, it's not a place where people come and sit down and stay for a long time, so it's not like a restaurant where people can be there for an hour or whatever. It's just gonna be that long now. Have a place to change. I know people will get ice cream and sit around a little bit outside or whatever. I don't have a place to change anything. There's no room in there to put seating for a restaurant. I think that's the way it's set. Works just fine. That parking lot size.
I know there was a fair amount of discussion when you all were doing this, concerns. Have there been, to your knowledge, any accidents, anything, things that
Everything's ran pretty smoothly. I mean, we haven't had any issues whatsoever. Anything.
I'm sorry, could you state your name?
My name is Tim Callahan.
Thank you. Any further from the board? I would think that before we open up the public.
I mean, if anybody's got any other questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
Okay, let's open up to the public. So, any comments from neighboring community members? Please approach the stage, the podium.
Okay. I'm not a good public speaker, so forgive me. My name is William Finley. I live at 7405 West State Road 46, Greensburg, Indiana. I live in the cluster of homes near the Hillbilly Corner at 7336 West County Road 307. I'm here tonight to state firmly that I oppose the petition filed by Matthew John for conditional use to operate a retail store at this location. I'd ask that you vote no on this petition. Our homes are zoned A2, and that zoning was put in place to give a protection against incompatible land uses. I built my home here with the clear understanding that it is a residential agricultural setting, not a retail corridor. I did not build my home among grocery stores, and nor did my neighbors. The current operation at this address is only possible because of a prior special exception permit, which was granted under the understanding that was an amortization period. I asked Brad to come back and explain this to me, but he didn't want to do that. But I specifically asked Brad when you guys did this the last time
And he stated that this was an amortization period. That's through the Indiana Supreme Court, which gives them enough time to recoup their investment where it goes back to not business. It is not a permanent rezoning or guaranteed use. Unfortunately, during that process, the applicant was not fully transparent about the scope of the plan, of his plan. The building inspector even accepted a blueprint for a storefront that should have never been approved in an A2 zoning cluster of homes. That is a serious error in allowing this conditional use now with only compounded. When you apply the 7 criteria of the conditional use voting evaluation sheet, it is clear that this request does not belong in our neighborhood. In fact, 6 out of the 7 criteria should definitely be marked disagree. The only one that could even be arguably be marked agree is number 6, and even that is failed. This board has a responsibility to protect the integrity of the zoning classifications that were put in place to ensure fairness and order in our county. If you vote to approve this conditional use, you are not only disregarding the protections promised to our neighborhood under the A2 zoning classification, you are also rewarding a process that has not been truthful or transparent. I respectfully but firmly refuse to accept the yes vote on this petition. I urge you to protect our homes, our investment, our rights under the A2 zone, and to vote no on this request. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I got something to say. It's been a shambles. My name's Roger Finley. I'm not a property owner, but my son is. This has been nothing but a sham ever since this whole thing started. It should never have been approved. Everybody calls it hillbilly corner. I call it hillbilly weed patch. Because there's not really owners living there. They take no pride in it. This is what you run into in this type of situation. LCA can possibly approve this. It's not transferable. That wasn't the agreement made. Judy was here when all this stuff went down, but he don't have the nerve to come in here and speak about it right now. I don't know who he's covering up for, or I don't know what the deal is.
So I can address the process a little bit. The amortization period you talk about, all conditional use are tied to a timeline, and all have to go through approval after typically 5 years. If there's typically no concerns or issues with that conditional use, they can be approved at the office. If there are concerns, they can come forward. Is that correct? So that is part of the process. You're correct. They're not transferable. That's why the new owners have repetitioned for that condition. So that's part of the process that's laid out. So I can speak to that part of it.
Well, I'm gonna write up all the agreements on the hours and this time. How's that gonna be taken care of?
That'll be part of the conversation.
All right.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, I'll say a few more things. I understand. I mean, this is a business. Well, I understand he's running a business, and this was my problem with it the first time. 2 miles down the road, the area plan has already made a business corridor. You know, specifically for stuff like this. But it's, $25,000 an acre instead of 6. And that's why we have what we have. As far as safety, I've got 10 or 15 pictures on my phone that my printer messed up and I couldn't print them. But I've got pictures, and I'm sure Elaine does too, with semis parked at the edge of the driveway, and the semis are all the way down to the stop sign, where, a car coming down the road can't even see the stop sign. I mean, it takes up the entire path, which makes it hard for a car going around the semi, plus people turn it on freeway. Now, maybe it's only once a month. I don't know how many times I have delivered, but it's every time they have to deliver with a truck. So, I mean, that was one of our biggest issues to begin with too, was having, a decel lane or something. And obviously there's no way to get semis in and out of there by boat. So, I mean, that's a huge safety. It's already, it's a problem now. If it's going to continue to grow, I mean, it's only going to get worse.
So I understand, are you talking about semis parking
The semis park on the road to be unloaded.
on the county road?
On the county road. Back of the truck is at the driveway, and the tractor of the truck is all the way past the stop sign almost. We're right at the stop sign. And I mean, I've seen them sit there for 45 minutes. Maybe there wasn't nobody there to unload them. I don't know. They sit there for an extended period of time. And those are just the pictures that I have. So, and I'm sure Elaine may have some.
I'm Morgan Westmeyer. I'm the realtor in the transaction representing both sides. Just kind of looking at things just from a real estate perspective. Unfortunately, I feel like when you purchase your home, you never know, you can't pick your neighbors, you don't know what's gonna happen, subdivisions, for example. Someone buys a house, they're next to a field, beautiful view. Years down the road, someone comes in and puts subdivisions, houses, things like that. And unfortunately, I feel like that's just kind of a gamble people take when they don't purchase the property next to them, leading up to that. And then just kind of another little comment as far as like the semis. I can't speak on unloading process or anything like that, but farmers, they come in, they've got their semis parked on the side of the road. If they can get into the field, then most of them do. But there's all different factors of why anybody could kind of be parked on the side of the road. So I just kind of want to point that out there also.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Robin Carmer, Hillbilly Corner. I just want to say that we have proven ourselves as a business, not to just be a business in Decatur County, but to be a business that's been part of Decatur County. My vision for Hillbilly Corner was to be an asset to Decatur County. I feel like we've proven that we are an asset. We have helped all the schools in Decatur County. I can't think of one school we haven't helped. We have raised money for United Fund. We are chamber members. It's a family every year that we've been open that was in need of either medical expenses or a tragedy that happened in her family, and we have raised money for them every year at the 4-H County Fair on family night. This year we raised the money for United Fund. We've helped New Directions. We've helped the recovery houses here in Decatur County. The list goes on and on and on about all of the things that we have done to be an asset in Decatur County. So with that being said, I feel like Matt has that same drive in him. He doesn't just want to be a business in Decatur County, but he wants to be part of the county. And I feel like he has that same vision. I wouldn't consider selling this to somebody that didn't have that vision. The other thing that I want to say is that most of our customers are this is a food desert. We determined that when we were here years ago, when we built the thing, it's a food desert. Most of our customers come from Adams, they come from Bernie, they come from, that Hope area. They're,
Let's, a lot of our customers are coming from Let's, and 95% of them are all farmers. They enjoy it, they love it. The ice cream is to die for, and he's keeping all of those things. Sandwiches for our farmers. Yeah, I mean, almost every day I have a tractor pull in with a farmer on it to eat lunch. So is it a need in that area? Absolutely. It's a food desert out there, and these guys absolutely love it. As far as the semi parking, I don't believe that Matt's going to be ordering exactly from the same company that I am. So the semis, the trucks should be smaller, but we only have one semi that ever parks on the road. And he's there maybe 5 minutes because he texts me before he leaves Troyer's and lets me know he's on his way, and we're always there waiting and ready for him. So, does he pull up on the county road? Because he can get a semi in there and he can turn around in our driveway, but it's just easier and faster for him to pull up on that county road. And it, depending on the driver, sometimes they do pull up to the stop sign. However, it's fast, it's quick, and he's out of there. And most people, when they're driving, pull up behind a vehicle when they're stopped. And he is over as far as he can get. We also have a little pull off right there in front of Elaine's house that they could pull onto, but he just pulls on it. So could that be fixed? Yes. Also, we have semis all day long parking on that county road when we're harvesting. I mean, when you live in Decatur County, there's going to be people parking on the side of the road to do harvest and do farming. That's why we are Decatur County and we are an ag county. So I just feel like Matt has the same heart and passion that I had when we first built this thing, and I think he's going to be a real asset to Decatur County, and I just feel like it's a need, and he's already school minded. So I mean, you know, he already works with all the kids and is already ag minded. So I just don't feel like this setup could go wrong.
How frequently are you getting semis and shipments in?
I get a delivery, ice cream delivery, I get about twice a month. Deli, I get every week. And then Coke comes in every week too, but I mean, none of those park on the road. They just back into the garage. Yeah.
The only one is Walnut Creek, it delivers to me. And he texts her, she texts me because I'm usually on the farm. I'm there waiting on him. Big part of the time I either bring the skid steer, or here lately it's just been a pickup truck because we just unloaded into the back pickup truck. He's got an unload dock, and he just puts the skid right on the back of the truck and he's gone.
There hasn't been one accident, not one person complained. It's pretty smooth and fast.
We're always waiting because we don't want any trouble.
Sure.
When you talk about unloading the garage, I assume that's the structure the laser pointers at. Is this the garage that you're talking about?
Yes.
Is there much that would prevent making this some kind of loop that any deliveries come off?
That was our idea.
I mean, is there something that prevents that to help ingress, egress? I mean, I could see if you would have a market and have surges of traffic, I feel like I could see where there'd be some advantage in having an entrance and exit, or a place for a truck to pull off and get off of the road, and understand what you're talking about with seasonal farm things. But generally, from a business standpoint, we try to keep stuff like that. Agriculture use, just it's in a different bucket, and I understand what you're saying, but from a business standpoint, we probably do.
That was our idea, was to bring that on around, but I don't know that we.
Well, you know, some of you know me, I've pulled a trailer biggest part of my life with that, and the trailer's 24 foot long, so a lot of times I don't even go in the drive. I got to cross the ditch right there and unload the mowers right there at the edge of the garage. Things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of putting a culvert in and gravel. That ain't that big a deal. Just the county has to give us the approval from the culvert.
Yeah.
Is the new petitioner open to
I'd be open to that, yeah.
making some adjustments there?
That's something you thought needed, should I get on microphone? That's something you thought needed to happen. I don't think that would be, oh, cut that driveway out over them. And then I didn't mention this, but it came up about some of the grounds. I've already talked with South Decatur, so ag teachers, the horticulture landscape classes about possibly doing some landscape design out there. Cause I want to put some stuff in the back. I have a pretty big garden at my house now, and so I'd want to grow a garden there, some flowers and things.
Being honest, that we were really had plans on putting produce in there and things, but that was 3.5 years ago when we built the building, and my dad died right then. So I took over the 1,000-acre farm, and it's just more than I can handle. You know.
Man in the corner, my memory serves me, you're the neighbor across the road, is that correct?
Yes.
Anything you'd like to say?
No, not really.
Any questions from the board? Final comments from the public?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all, Ms. Carmen and her realtor, I guess, we've all agreed this is a business. It is a business. It's not exactly the condition it's designed for. Using conditional use, for a BZA or is, trying to skirt zoning. I mean, it's not zoned. And obviously, this is we've all known it entire time.
Can I address that?
So for my legal reasons, for the future, I want that in the record, that we all agree this is a business. If we can just have that in, if Debbie can put that in the record for me, that it's a business, it's not so.
I'd like to comment on that. The conditional use is commonly used for a business, and the purpose of that is because it has a period of time tied to it. The reason that the county isn't so fast to change zoning of a property is that conditional uses stay with owners where zoning stays with parcels. So should the zoning of this change, and we would make it a B2 as an example, the neighbors lose the opportunity to come back at the time that a conditional use be reevaluated. So should a conditional use be granted, there would be some period of time tied to that. This gentleman potentially, should it be granted, would have to come, allow the neighbors to speak, address concerns, things like that. And then we as a board would readdress any concerns that would come up. However, should zoning be changed, that would be the last time that anybody in the neighborhood would be able to come into a meeting like this and address concerns. It would not have anything to do with the produce stand or whatever it is. At the point that the zoning would change, anything that would fit in that zoning could happen. So we aren't, I don't think that we are attempting to skirt anything, but the county, I think it's fair to say that we would prefer a conditional use as opposed to changing zone when it makes sense.
Well, that would be spot zoning then. That fall in spot zoning.
What would you prefer? Spot zoning?
I prefer to protect the homeowners right now today.
That's our intent.
Yes. They've already been hurt by it. We don't know what the future's gonna hold for all this.
And I hate to see anybody, get a windfall out of a lie that started out a lie, continue to be a lie.
Can I ask what,
To benefit from that is wrong.
can I get a clarification on when you say you've been hurt? What, describe that?
I mean, I'm the least affected of this of the three homeowners, of us three that are connected to it. You destroy her. I mean, it's just constant traffic in front of her house. I mean, She bought this house to retire. And you put a brick and mortar Amazon store peddling Chinese crap. Right in front of us. Maybe not you, but the board before.
I did think my property values went down.
I got to say, it's a beautiful building, and any of you,
I've been buying. I-
it's a beautiful building. It made the property values go up, no matter which.
Is there a way we could?
I'd also like to make a comment that Bill Finley does not live in that house that he is saying that he lives in.
Okay. Okay. So to the petition and the conditional use on the retail store, I appreciate any concern, comments. I do think this does make sense that, you have some stipulations to that, as we did on the first, conditional use. New drive extension seems to be a reasonable ask, to avoid any type of business activity on public roads. Since it's a safety concern of it.
And
So
that's coming straight out of the garage to.
I think
Towards
that's,
the border. Hey,
I think working with the county highway department to come up with what is reasonable. I don't know that we should
something
stipulate,
like that.
yeah, whether it's straight there, whether it's just a loop around, something that's easy to access, that's in my hand. As far as hours of operation, currently you're Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 6, closed Sunday, Monday, fast to potentially be open on Sundays. Any comments on the board on any of those stipulations? I'm not typically one to limit anyone's possibility of how hard they want to work. I do think a reasonable closing time makes sense.
If I were gonna try and pull from memory, one of the concerns of the gal in the corner there was headlights in her windows. Long time, yeah, I'd say if we look back to the minutes, you were concerned about cars pulling out of that driveway and their lights shining across into your house.
That's when they had a Coke machine outside.
And that could be, I'm just saying, I
Yeah, that's
remember
when they
that,
had the little shed.
I remember that comment, so.
Yeah.
Where I was going with all of that is dark, seasonal dark kind of thing is, I mean, the problem is not 9 PM in the middle of summer is a lot different than the 9 PM on a winter night, things like that. So I feel like a closed time that somewhat revolves around not having vehicles pulling out and when it's dark and you're getting headlights. And maybe that's not a concern at all anymore. If it's not, then that's great. But I do remember that being a pain point for you.
Is the board interested in finding any time to it or not?
I think daytime operation is what I was going to propose, but
I'm okay leaving it off. Last thing would be, in my head anyway, is the timeframe on this, approval or this.
Can't hear you.
The last thing I've got is the timeframe on approval on, race conditional use.
Reviewing this, yeah.
Reviewing this, so typically it's 5 years. Any changes seen necessary from the board?
I'd like to shorten it. I'd like to shorten it and allow Mr. John to prove to the neighbors that what he's doing works. Should they have concerns, that they would have the opportunity like this to points, anything specific?
Time frame, Chesky.
I would say a couple of years.
2 years. 2 years.
Do you have any problem with that, Mr. John, that,
No, I
that
don't think so.
2
I'm
years?
just
we
gonna
would-
basically continue to do what they're doing. So for the most part, it sounds like. But I haven't talked to in the community and Chamber of Commerce, everybody here is pretty happy with what's been going on, so.
Okay.
See you in 2 years, I guess. Let's get through.
Are you okay with daytime hours of operation?
Well, I mean, it gets dark at 4 o'clock anyway. We'll know something about that.
Okay.
But, yeah, summertime, like you said.
Our conditional use, when you guys gave me the conditional use, we were 10 to 10 was what the board decided. The 10 in the morning kind of sucks because the farmers all want coffee
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? It just kind of crippled me a little bit.
Okay.
The 10 o'clock was too late for ice cream sales in the summer. So I think that 9 o'clock is your sweet spot in the summertime for ice cream sales. Usually after 9 o'clock, nobody's coming to you. You know, so for Matt, I feel like at 10 a.m., it's just crippling.
I'd like
you
to be
know?
early because I'd like to catch
Yeah.
some of that traffic between Greensburg and Columbus for coffee.
I'm fine leaving the time frame off of it.
Time to, yeah, those points make sense.
2 year time frame. We'll come back, hear any concerns on anything. And then, requiring a new drive, make easier access. For limited public area, so. Any other criteria, discussion points? Board?
This board is designed to try and keep peace and harmony in neighborhoods. And I understand and hear the Finleys, understand your points. However, I think that we can find a spot where they can enjoy the liberty of operating a business, maintaining the property, and also not taking away from your all's quality of life. And I hear about the semis. I think we can find a spot to get them off the road, make that work, but I think we can find a spot here to make it work for everybody.
So you're gonna take responsibility for property owners losing property value? You're gonna take any responsibility? County is?
No, I'm not going to take that responsibility, and I think I can make the argument that that's not going to hold water.
So we've got narrowed down to 2 conditions on approval of this conditional use for a new drive, to gain access for deliveries and a time frame for renewal of 2 years. And further from the board, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to vote on BZA petition 2025-3.
I second that motion. So the second. Okay.
Scott, you saw them online? The vote for 2025-3 are as follows: Paul Stone, yes. Rick Cohen, yes. Andrew Bruno, yes. Let me see that.
Petition is granted. Stay in touch with the office as you move forward. Last item on our agenda tonight, I'll close to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, we're adjourned.
No.